Hello everyone, I am Deborah. Welcome back to my kitchen where I'm finding and making keto-friendly recipes that will keep us focused, satisfied, and in keto. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So you guys, I am continuing to find recipes that I can bring to my Thanksgiving table. And today I have got a recipe for one of my favorite sides at Thanksgiving, and that being the dressing. So you guys, I have everything here in front of us that we will need to put together a keto-friendly recipe for a dressing, and it smells amazing in here. And if you guys want to learn how to make a dressing that is also worthy of your Thanksgiving table and is also keto, then stay with me and I will show you how coming up next. All right, welcome back everyone. Let's go ahead and get started in putting this together. I've already left on the screen everything that you're gonna need along with the measurements. And the first thing that I'm gonna do right now, because I need to let it cool down, is I am going to put these onions as well as the celery, which have already been obviously prepped and diced. I'm gonna put them in a heated skillet with 2 tablespoons of butter, and I'm gonna let these saute. Okay everyone, so while the onions and the celery is cooling, I'm gonna go ahead and chop up the bread. Okay, so this is the Keto Cornbread. If you've not yet seen the video on that, I will leave it in the link above. But after I made the cornbread, what I did is I diced it into cube-sized pieces here. I laid it out on a baking sheet and I put it in the oven for about 10-15 minutes, just so it would have a crunch to it. So I'm just going to dice this up a little bit more and then add it to my bowl, my mixing bowl. And you guys, this bread is absolutely delicious. It's savory, and that is because I added some of the seasonings that I like to add to my dressing directly into the batter before I bake them. And it is so good. It reminds me of a Pepperidge Farm dressing that's already been pre-seasoned. So this is about the consistency that I want my bread. Not too fine, but at the same time, not too big. So I'm going to do the same thing with the rest of this bread, and then I'll add it to the bowl. And this scraper, you guys, from Amazon, just in case you're interested. Right, now this is the last of the cornbread. And then we're gonna move on to the white bread. And that's what we have so far. Okay. Now, this white bread is actually one full recipe of a keto biscuit. And after these biscuits were done, I did the same thing with these. I took them and I cut them into cubes. Okay, and this is after they rested for probably a couple hours. And I took them, cut them into cubes, and then laid them out on a baking sheet. I seasoned them with some poultry seasoning along with some garlic powder. And you guys, when I tell you that these things are so good, they taste like a seasoned crouton. So delicious. And the reason why I'm using a combination of the cornbread as well as the white bread is because I want the consistency to be a little bit lighter than what you would normally get with just a cornbread. And I do believe as well that some of this bread will help absorb some of the moisture so I don't end up with a soggy dressing. All right, everyone, so I'm gonna add this to the mixing bowl. So this is what we have so far. Just a few more, and then I think I have the ratio of what I want between the cornbread as well as the white bread. And I'll put these aside. And of course, if you want to add all of what I'm calling the white bread, then you can put it all in if that's what you want. So now the bread has been prepared. And now what we're gonna do is we are going to layer on our herbs and the seasoning and the chicken and then the broth. So you guys, before I start layering in all these ingredients that is gonna turn this bread into a delicious dressing, let me just tell you that I am choosing to put some meat in mine, and this is chicken. This is chicken thighs. And what I did is I used this to also create a stock that I'm gonna be using to add some moisture to my dressing. So what I did to make this is, to some water, I added some celery, some carrots, some bouillon cubes, and then of course this chicken. And then I let it slow simmer over the course of a few hours. And you guys, it not only did it make this chicken like so tender, it also well seasoned this stock. It is phenomenal. So let's go ahead and get started into layering all of these ingredients into this bread. So I'm gonna start with this chicken, which after it cooled down, I shredded. And next, I'm going to add the celery as well as the onions, which have cooled. And I'm going to go ahead and mix this in. All right. Now for the seasoning and the herbs. So here I've got some fresh chopped sage. And of course, you know, all of this is optional. You put in the seasonings that you like in your dressing, but I love sage in mine. So this is about 2 teaspoons. Let's sprinkle this on. Then I've got some more poultry seasoning. Some garlic powder. Some Italian seasoning. And the reason why I'm using this is because I like the blend of the spices that's in it. It's some rosemary and some thyme. And I love that. And here I've got some salt and pepper, but for the time being, I'm gonna hold off on these just so I can taste it first. So let's go ahead and mix these in. Okay, let's go ahead and give this a taste. That's delicious. Oh my gosh. Okay. A little bit of salt. And a little bit of pepper. Give this a mix. And we'll be ready to add in our egg, which is, of course, is optional, but it helps with the binding of the dressing. And then, of course, our broth. All right, everyone, so I have tasted this, and this is seasoned exactly the way that I need it to be. So now I'm ready to go ahead and add this one beaten egg. Let's mix that in. And lastly, this broth. So I am going to ladle this in a little at a time until I get the moisture that I want. And each one of these ladles is about a half a cup. So far we got 1 cup. And the whole key to this is that you want it moist but not soggy, so that you've got, you know, all the juice just dripping out of this bread. So this is dressing with just the 1 cup. That's what that's looking like. So I'm going to add a little bit more because, again, you don't want it too soggy, but at the same time you don't want a dry dressing. And this is going to be baking for about, I guess, about 40 minutes or so. All right, so there we have it. Okay, so at this point, we're going to get our baking dish, and we are going to put this in here, and we're going to put this in the oven. And this is what I have. I don't have anything bigger, so I'm going to be using this. And I'm going to use some avocado spray to spray it. And there we have it. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in a preheated oven, which has been preheating to 375 degrees. And I am going to be baking this for about 40 to 45 minutes, and I'm definitely going to check on it. You guys, the next time you see me, you will see me with a completed keto-friendly dressing. I'll see you soon. All right, it's been 40 minutes. And this is hot out of the oven. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this rest, and then you guys, we are going to give it a try. Okay, everyone, this is out of the oven, obviously, and it has set for about half an hour, just so that all the flavors that come together and set. And now it's time to give it a taste. Lord, I thank you. First of all, I have to say that this texture is spot on perfect, you guys. It's not too wet, it's not too dry, it is absolutely perfect. And I end up using 2 cups of that stock. This is absolutely delicious. Oh my God. you guys something. So what I intended to do was to use like all the herbs and the spices for my keto-friendly dressing to make my husband's dressing with the store-bought Pepperidge Farm breadcrumbs. Let me tell you something. This is so good. I'm making one batch and it's going to be this. This is how delicious this is. You guys have got to give this a try. And the key to this is prepping in advance. I made the cornbread 2 days ago. And also another thing, if you've not yet watched this video, I'm gonna leave it in the link above. Another thing is when I made that batch of cornbread, I put the herbs in it that I like to use in my dressing. So I put the poultry seasoning in it, I put the fresh sage in it. And when I tell you, I think that also contributed to how good this is. And then of course, once it set for the 2 days, then early this morning, I chopped it up into chunks, and then I put a little garlic powder on it, and then I put it back in the oven to let it dry out to get the crunch that I needed. Sure perfection. And then as far as the biscuits are concerned, I made those a day ago, and then this morning I chopped those. I put a little poultry seasoning on it. I put that in the oven for about 15 minutes, and I'm telling you, the layering of those herbs, I think, again, made all the difference in the world in this dressing. Please do give it a try. Please do leave your comments below and let everyone know just how delicious this actually is. And again, if you were to serve this to people that are non-keto, they would think this is probably the best dressing that they have ever had. This is how good this is, you guys. Remember, you guys, to remain safe, healthy, and encouraged. Remember, it is a great day. You make it your own kind of special. And do give this video a thumbs up. Please do share. And please do press that subscribe button below. Until we meet again, keep growing, keep thriving, keep pushing those boundaries. And I will see you all real soon on my next I've Got Something to Say Too. Enjoy, you guys.